Hey YouTube, this is Southern Purple One. I'm going to speak up because we got rain falling on a metal building, so it's probably going to be hard to hear. Got a lot to talk about. This is going to be a hodgepodge of a bunch of topics that I feel like I need to talk about. First one was the meeting we had last Saturday. Huge success. People are starting to network. Great crowd. Filled the room up, plus overflowed. So there's a big interest. So I urge you, if you have an interest in putting on a meeting in your area, put a meeting on in your area. Go get your library building. You probably can use a conference room or a meeting room, absolutely free. Advertise a little bit. I'll help you if I can advertise for you. There's meetings going on all over Western North Carolina. A lot of groups are meeting. So things are happening. People are worried. People are scared. But guess what? They're taking a positive step forward. If nothing happens, and there's no crisis, you haven't wasted your time at all, because you develop friendships, you develop new skills and relationships with people you would never have met, and you're doing something positive. You're moving forward with a solution to the problem. You're not sitting at your home just complaining. Yes, a lot of people sit at home and they might get on Alex Jones, they might get on all these other conspiracy theorists, and they might just spend a lot of time worrying about, oh, they're out to get me. Yeah, they probably are out to get you, but you can't do anything about it. So prep. Educate yourself, educate others, but do something positive. Find a solution to the problem and move forward. Just don't dwell on the problem. Oh, the government, the government, the government. Move forward. We know there's a problem out there. The meeting was a success. I challenge you. Have a meeting in your area and get people talking. Get people associating with together. Don't say, oh, the government's going to find me. The government's going to infiltrate. Who cares if the government infiltrates? You guys aren't sharing your combination to your safe, or where you store your valuables, or where you put your food, your guns. You're not sharing that information at this point. You're sharing ideas. You're sharing skills. And then from there, you're going to find people. Find people you know. That's the best thing. If you've known someone for 20 years, went to school, you grew up with them, you're going to know who they are, and that's the key. For your inner group, it has to be close-knit people. If you just met somebody now, yeah, you might not bring them into that close group, but guess what? You can still associate with them. You're not planning on doing anything illegal, so don't worry about that. If he is a government spy, guess what? When he realizes that you're an upstanding citizen, he's going to do two things. He's going to try to entrap you, and he's going to bring something up. Hey, let's make bombs. Let's do this. You guys are all smart enough for that. Somebody says that to you, kick him out. Not in other words, say leave, please. But the people I'm finding are genuine, concerned Americans. They're concerned about their country, concerned about their families, and they're trying to do something. You have to network. The only way you're going to survive what I think is coming. You know, a lot of people have their different thoughts, and no one might be right, or we all might be right, or it might be a combination of things. You have to have a community. You have to have a group. You will not survive by yourself. I've been trying to preach this. I am working my butt off to develop a community up here, to know people, to find skill sets that I don't have, and to find skill sets that our community needs. So that's what I'm working on, and I think it's becoming successful. I think we're getting to that point. The problem I have found, though, is that I'm the hub, and I know all these people on the spokes, and I know them, but the problem is they don't know each other, some of them. A lot of them do, but so what I'm trying to do is remove myself from the hub, put myself as one of those spokes, and let everyone know each other, so they can develop relationships, not through me, but through themselves. So that's what I'm working on. I want to talk about a subject really quick, but I'm going to go in more depth when I have more time to think about it. Bad people in your community. There are bad people out there. I was talking to a friend of mine, good friend. He has some bad neighbors near him, like crack house, meth heads, rob you blind, that kind of person. Not just, he doesn't get along with them because, their dog barks at night. These are bad people that none of us would want in our community. And right now these people are somewhat in check because of the law enforcement. If you remove that law enforcement from the equation, what's going to happen to these people? We talked about it. I am not advocating violence. I'm not going to tell. I am going to do violence. We had a educational discussion, like a think tank, and that's what YouTube is. You need to use YouTube as a think tank. Problem, everybody try to solve it. Preemptive strike against someone that is very bad that will be disruptive to your community and a threat to your family and community. Now, I'm not saying a preemptive strike as you go in there and assassinate him. Maybe you go over there and force him out. Or maybe he is so bad that you do something a little bit more drastic. You might be thinking, Southern Prepper 1's lost his mind. During that situation, if it is a worst case collapse, not just a short-term emergency, you might have to do something to safeguard the community, especially if you're trying to look out after people in your community that these people will take advantage of, the elderly. What are you going to do? And then everyone has to answer that question, and you're going to have to answer it really when the situation unfolds. But you got good people in your community that we're trying to build a community, and we got bad people in our community we're going to have to deal with. As I said, a lot of hodgepodge ideas. I'm going to talk more about bad people in our community, because you know what's happening now. Every time I turn the news on, violent crime, gangs beating up people, it's black on white, white on black. But there is a huge, huge, huge problem of violence. And if you think about it, right now we have law enforcement, we have all these restraints. If you take all those restraints out, what's going to happen? I will tell you what's going to happen. Good guys like you and me are going to get fed up. We are going to do something. It's going to be very violent. But you know what? Right now, the good guys, me and you, feel like we're handcuffed. We're tied up. We can't do anything. Law enforcement is definitely tied up. And it goes back to a political will. Nobody wants criminals in our society. But for some reason, people commit crimes, they go to jail, and they get out, go to jail, get out. It's a huge revolving door. Because the punishment is not severe enough to say, hey, if you do a crime, you're going to pay for it, and you're going to pay very dearly. So, the crime epidemic is terrible. It's probably going to get worse. What are we going to do about it? That's a whole nother video. I want to show you something. This is a dictionary. It is the Webster's New Universal Unabridged Dictionary. And as you can hear, it is pouring down rain here. You have a dictionary. You have encyclopedias. I'm collecting old encyclopedias, dictionaries, especially this one, it's so huge. Just to have a hard copy of wealth of knowledge. If you're relying on the computer and it goes down and you can't pull things up, you're going to be in trouble. Yeah, you can download stuff and save it, protect it that way, but there's something about having that hard copy in my hands. Yeah, it's huge, and you could probably put all this on a little thumb drive. But think about that. Another thing I want to talk about is metal containers. I have a ton of these. I'm not going to show you them all, but I have a million of them. Well, maybe not a million. I have probably 3 for every family member. These are important. At my location, I could get 20 people. If we have to implement a total retreat plan and families have to come here, I'm going to have a ton of people. Imagine 20 people. How many dishes would that take? If everyone uses, 1 cup at breakfast, you got to wash a lot of cups. During the day, you know how kids, if you have kids, they're always in there getting a drink and using a new cup. So you're gonna have a ton of dishes to do. And that's gonna take water, hot water, soap, time, a lot of resources. I think this solution would work. It's gonna work for me because I already do it. I drink a ton of tea and I use this. That way I can just fill it up, and during the day I can take it with me. I'm drinking out of it. I can go refill it up. Also, if everyone had one of these, or maybe 2 of them, there's sometimes where you want to drink water and you might want to drink tea, lemonade, Kool-Aid, something that tastes good. Now I don't have to worry about having 2, but in a survival situation, you're going to have a limited amount of good beverages. Yeah, you can survive without tea and other things, but that is going to be a huge morale boost. We're going to have to limit. You're going to be rationed on certain items. So if every morning the person in charge of the food plan would make tea or lemonade or whatever, they can easily, everyone have a container, they can fill this up. You can use a Sharpie, write the person's name on it. And some people might not like tea. They might want Kool-Aid, lemonade, something else other than water. I've been deployed so much, I've been to the field. and I've lived on water for months at an end, and when you have a chance to get something, Gatorade, anything that has flavor to it, it is a huge morale boost. Trust me, you will want that in your pantry, that morale boost drink. But this will let people each have the same amount. If people are just able to go to the refrigerator, even if we have refrigeration, or go and just keep drinking, and you're going to have problems, because some people are going to get a lot, some people aren't going to get as much, and people are going to be upset with each other. So if everyone has a container, and in the morning they fill it up, and that's what you're going to get. You're going to get this much tea or lemonade, everyone gets the same amount, you're not going to have a problem. Hey, he got more, or she got more. You know, you can drink as much water as you want, but this is special. And you can ration it out during the day, or you can just drink it all of a sudden. Very important, I think. Save a lot of soap, save a lot of time, especially for the person washing dishes. I want to talk about the rain as it's falling now. In South Carolina, we are getting tons and tons of rain. It is definitely directly affecting crops. Farmers here and in other areas, if you had to rely on just the food you grew this year to get you through the whole year, you might not be able to grow enough. You might not be able to put up enough hay if you had to, just because of the rain. So I challenge you, make sure you stock your staples of your rice, your beans, your oatmeal, popcorn, for popcorn and for grinding for cornmeal. There's a lot of things that you can put back that are staples to get you through a serious situation when you might not be able to produce as much. You might be planning, I'm going to grow enough food, I got 3 acres, I got everything I need. Nature can destroy that quickly. We could have a drought. You could have a beautiful garden and you get a summer hailstorm, flatten your corn, flatten a lot of food. So put back your staples, but also be a producer and able to grow things. I know this is a hodgepodge, just a lot of things I want to share with you. Thanks for watching.